Christopher Williams, what's your opinion on reliability, two-stroke versus four-stroke, with the exception being the crappy E-Tech G2s? I always argue that the two-stroke is more reliable, much less moving parts, no valves or timing components that can fail. Plain simplicity. My 1999 Mercury 40, which I never winterized, ran ethanol fuel due to availability, premixed with a surplus of Mag 1 brand oil I had. The guy I sold it to in 2015 is still running it hard to this day with that same surplus of 20-year-old two-stroke oil. I just don't see a four-stroke taking the same abuse while still running strong. Christopher Williams is amazing. He sent me all kinds of stuff. He gave me like cutting oil and all kinds of like Evinrude grease and stuff. So Chris, thank you again for all the stuff. Now, as far as reliability on the two-stroke versus four-stroke, it kind of, in the lower horsepower, I'm going to say you could even kind of break it down like that. Yeah, there are certain years, certain engines, HPDIs, certain horsepowers, certain years, certain Optimaxes, 97 to 01, you're talking the OptiPops. It might even been more like 97 to 99, but real early first model fix, very unreliable engines. Forces, very unreliable engines. But, 40 horsepower Yamaha two-stroke, a 40 horsepower Mercury 99, some of these smaller horsepower, once you get into the 200s, 250s, it's kind of a different world. So it's a different thing. So more horsepower comes more problems. Like, you're more torque, more power, more abuse basically is what it's going to be. So as far as reliability goes, it all depends on the engine, because certain models are going to be more reliable than other models, but four strokes have come so far that they kind of are more reliable when it comes to a two-stroke versus a four-stroke. So if you're like comparing a 250 horsepower Yamaha 3.3 liter HPDI compared to a 250 horsepower Yamaha F250 4.2 liter, like that 4.2 is going to make 2,000 more hours than that HPDI is. And it's just that platform is so well designed. Not talking about cost and maintenance and all the other stuff. And yeah, on a small, two strokes, more simplicity, a lot easier, a lot less can go wrong. But at the same time, if we're talking about a 40 horse and a 40 horse, an F40 Yamaha and, a 40 horsepower two-stroke 99 running on a premix, like they're both going to be super reliable. They're going to last probably the same amount of time. Will the four-stroke end up costing you more money in the long run? Yes, it will. As far as maintenance goes. Now, as far as fuel consumption, though, over the long run of the two-stroke and the four-stroke, the two-stroke, based on how much time you put on it, how much you're costing in fuel burn compared to the four-stroke, does it even out? Possibly. Reliability-wise, smaller engines, I don't think that I would say that one is more reliable than the other, because you've got to throw in the exceptions of the different models that had specific problems compared to other models. Like, your 40 Mercury, like you ain't gonna have no problems with that thing. It's a small engine doing a small job that's not, taking a lot of abuse. It's getting plenty of oil and drinking fuel. So, yeah, I would say hard to compare. You really can't compare a two-stroke versus a four-stroke, because you have to compare a model to a model. There is no way of it's a platform that has a ton of different variables. It's like getting in the discussion of an Android phone versus an iPhone. They're two different platforms with a bunch of different models. Same thing. A four-stroke is a platform. A two-stroke is a platform. There's bad two-strokes. There's bad four-strokes. If we compare, the unreliable and bad models of each, then, that could be something better than just the platform versus the platform. In some instances, the simplicity of the 4-stroke or the 2-stroke is going to be more reliable than the 4-stroke. But at the same time, in certain instances, the reliability and the fuel consumption and the runnability of the 4-stroke is going to be better than the 2-stroke. Long-winded answer there.
Now, if you enjoyed this clip, you can watch the full episode over here, or you can watch another one over here.